rock me while I'm alive. Rock till death, rock till death.
So the first time I met you, it was in Strasbourg 2 years ago. I just heard your show. I came and saw you, and I was just amazed because when you were on stage, you were so sincere. It was amazing, and I fell in love with your show, what you did on stage, because you don't act, you're really you on stage. And my boyfriend saw you in 1985 in Heavy Sound Festival with rock. And he still says, I wish I had her balls. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so nice to hear.
He was amazed too. My question is, how can you remain so sincere and true through your huge career?
I always try to be myself, and just when I see the fans, then nothing can stop me. It's always like, that's the purest form of doing something, getting feedback, and I feel in front of the fans I can really be me, which I maybe can't be like in regular life, because usually the people around me, they're not metalheads, they don't really understand the metal spirit, which I must say I love metal, because there's something very sincere about it, very, very heartfelt, very pure, and I always try to make the fans
many artists do just act is not true, and you are the one who is sincere.
But I must say, I could learn from the best. For example, people I admired so much, like Ronnie James Dio. I think he was the same. He was with the fans, even when he was after a show, when he was exhausted or having a cold, he was always talking to everybody, giving everybody a hug, signing autographs, and I could,
And he was giving you love.
Totally. Yeah, I always try my best to, and it's such a great honor to play in front of people, and I'm always grateful for that. And then I always give it 150%, or at least I want to start there and really make something not waste anybody's time, just give them something what really feels, special or powerful, and gives them good energy, and it takes their mind off of the everyday problems. And I think everybody has a rough life. I think everybody tries to fight to survive, and I think music can definitely do so much good, worldwide, even when we don't talk in the same language. But music, it's it brings people so close. It's awesome. But I'm always grateful for that all these great years. And when you say Heavy Sound Festival, that's a long time ago, and that people still remember that makes me so happy.
It was really amazing, because you were only
in Belgium, right?
Yeah,
Heavy Sound Festival in Belgium. With Slayer and
it was awesome. I couldn't hear it, but it was a revelation for him. Really,
it's so nice to hear. It's super nice to hear. Wow.
And so you catch the strength to perform your career so well. That is a lot of fans, and for your new album, when did you catch the strength? Maybe.
Actually, it was we did the last release was the DVD, and I was working 1.5 years on it to make it great, visually, and it's a 3-disc thing, so that took 1.5 years, and then after that was done, and I thought, I feel I'm ready for a new record, because the last one was out in 2009, the Fear No Evil, and yeah, and then my first song, which I wrote, and it just came out totally spontaneous but deep out of the soul. It was actually the song for Ronnie James Dio, and it's called Hero. And I know the whole metal community was shocked when we heard that Ronnie died. It was like unbelievable, and then I talked to so many people. Everybody, you know, gave each other actually support. It was so painful, and yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, I was falling asleep, and then I had this melody and the lyric in my head, and it was "You are a hero, our only hero." And then I thought, oh God, I gotta write a song. And then I went into the studio and started recording it. Yeah, that was the first song for this record. And then, yeah, many songs came, and now, you know, 2.5 years later, I just actually delivered the record a couple of weeks ago. And anthems on it, and fast songs, and special songs like for Ronnie and Ballad with Lemmy, which I love so much. It's called It Still Hurts. And Lemmy is another very special idea to all of us, including myself. I love Lemmy, always have, and it's a special honor to have singing on that song. And we did actually something together in the year 2000. It was on the Calling the Wild album, and it was great. And oh man, Lemmy is so unique, so soulful. Yeah.
So after the release, there will be a tour. You have to special training to keep your voice and keep your body so beautiful. Do you have a secret?
It's no sleep, only touring non-stop. Always being exhausted. But yeah, actually, I don't feel exhausted. You're just good. Yeah, I always try to keep it positive, but sometimes I on tour, it's hardcore. And you have to go, on stage, and then you feel like, the whole body aches because you don't get any sleep. And in the tour bus, when you tour with 15 or 20 people, there's always a big party, and all the musicians, they can drink and party, but as a singer you have to drink. And
never seen that.
Then you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to even get some rest, but to me, the show is always the most important thing, so I try not to talk too much the whole day, and but I tell you, even when I feel like, really not good, or when I have a cold, or when the voice is hoarse, when I can't talk, when I see the fans, everything's good. Everything's good. I see the fans, and then the voice just pops out, and then it goes. And then even the road crews, sometimes they get really boring and say, oh, tonight it's probably really in pain, and the voice is like, you can tell it, but when I see the fans. And usually I tend to make the longest concerts when I'm sick, to kind of overcompensate that I maybe don't feel as good, and then, then it's like not 2 hours, it's 3 hours. But I think when touring, you're always in good shape, because, running around, jumping around, headbanging, that's a good workout, so, I don't need to go in the gym anymore. It's, I just love so much what we do, being on tour is great, and when I see the fans, that's heaven for me. Yeah, totally. And that's the most important thing in my life, always was, and I can appreciate it every year even more and more. Actually we start in November, and then our last gig. Yes, we played Paris the 12th of December in Divan, and I'm so excited. I've never played there before. I think, good, and I definitely want to play the French version of Ways of Living Here, Left on Point. Yes, I love actually the French version even more than the English one. And I love playing France. I have the greatest memories. Like, we played great concerts here. I remember in the early 80s we always did Elysée Montmartre. Montmartre, and with Doro we did the Zenith, and it was one of the best shows, I think. And the last tour was so great in Lyon, we played in here in Paris, and I think were the highlights on the whole tour. And then we do 70,000 tons of metal next year, and on a cruise ship. This will be probably lots of drinking in there. And then we do an America tour, and then South America, then we're coming back. And then we do probably Russia and all over Europe again. And then, I have my 30-year anniversary, and actually I first want to celebrate in Wacken. And then in Düsseldorf, my hometown, towards the end of the year in December, I want to do 2 nights and do something spectacular, like absolutely special. And then next year, hopefully in other cities, and do something here in France, like celebrate big
all the time.
How do you play all the time?
How do you manage your personal life?
There is no personal life.
Yeah.
It is not
your
existing.
personal life is
absolutely, absolutely, and I love it that way. And I made up my mind when I was like 24, 25 that I want to dedicate my life to metal and to the fans and nothing else. And ever since, not even one relationship came close. I never thought of getting married or having kids. It was always metal, and it's still great. And it always will. That's for sure. Yeah. And I never want to do a goodbye tour. I was so sad when bands announced their farewell and goodbye tour. I can't believe it. I never want to do it. I want to die on stage and say, oh, okay, that's great. I love you deep inside my heart forever. But never really. Hopefully many more records, many more festivals and tours, and
And regarding to your career, what is the best memory you had and the worst?
Oh, the best! Oh God, there were so many great memories.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, my first memory was like, I was still working as a graphic artist, and I got this phone call from my manager, and he said, hey, are you ready to quit your job? And then I said, why? He said, well, we can go on tour with Judas Priest. And Judas Priest in the 80s, 86, it was the peak of metal. And then I went up to my boss and said, I want to quit my job. He said, are you insane, girl? What's happening to you? And I said, we're going on tour with Judas Priest. He didn't know what that was. And I said, it's so important. It's the most important thing in life. He said, oh, okay. And then he thought, he knew he couldn't keep me. And then, my first tour with Judas Priest, actually my first tour here, in a big place, and then my second tour with the one with James Steele in 87 was unbelievable. My favorite singer, and then even being on tour together was so great. And then I was a big Kiss fan, and I had a great chance to work with Gene Simmons. Yeah, it was actually my first band when I was like, before I even had my first band, so I was a big Kiss fan, so I never even thought I would ever meet anybody from Kiss, and then we were working in the studio every day, and I was like, it was a dream come true. And Tommy Thayer, he was, back then he had a band Black and Blue, and he was actually the co-producer, and he played all the solos on the record. Now that he's in Kiss, and Tommy's a great guy. And then working with Lemmy was unbelievable, and
so many good ones.
and then my first American tour, big tour, was with Megadeth, and my first tour in England was with Wasp, but Blackie Lawless, he was very nice to me, because I was coming off the Judas Priest tour, and we finished the tour in Scandinavia. And in Scandinavia, we played all the biggest ice hockey venues, like big venues, but there was always like a little carpet over the ice, and then everybody tried to tell me, hey, little girl, don't walk over the ice because you catch a cold or you get sick. I said, no. So I was always walking over the ice, always watching the sound check of Judas Priest every day. And then one day later we started in England, the tour with Wasp, and I was sick. I was so sick. It was unbelievable. And in England there were like smaller clubs, there wasn't a dressing room for all the bands, so I was sitting outside, on the floor, like it was cold, it was like dirty and wet, and I thought, oh God. And then somebody came by and I said, "Are you Doro?" And I looked up and he was black, you know. And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you sick?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You look like you're dying." And I thought, "I'm so sick." And I said, "Wait." And then he cleared out his dressing room. He told his band members to go somewhere else, and because there was only one dressing room. And then he said, "Doro, you know, come to my dressing room. You can lay down on the couch. Nobody will disturb you." And then he brought me all these kind of magic potions for the voice and some fresh fruit juice, which in the 80s was unheard of, especially in England. And then I got like, oh, you know, and then he said, "I'll wake you up, just rest." Yeah, and then he woke me up. He said, "Oh, I think it's time for you to get dressed and to hop on stage." And then I made the tour, and it was great. So I was definitely very supportive of the musicians and bands and the fans. And, yeah, and these memories, it's a long time ago, but still, you know, so, you know, amazing. Yeah, it's...
Bad memories?
Bad memories, actually, yeah, klar. Some bad memories too, like, for example, when we, our band was called Warlock, and then suddenly, somebody stole the name. And then I thought, that's it, but it's our name, but it can't be. And then we went to court, and we kind of lost it. I guess the judge saw all like the long hair, headbangers, metalheads, and and then we couldn't perform anymore. And the name Warlock, and
the name was given that too.
A couple of years ago now, after 25 years. I got it back, but it's not the same anymore. And and some band members, they gave up music completely because they were like so frustrated. The music business, there was definitely, and so that was like a big shock. And it was never my wish to make a solo career ever. And then, like I said, okay, then you call this next record Doro, and the next record you will call it Warlock again. But it never came to that. And then the name was gone, and I thought it's a joke, but it wasn't. So there were many obstacles. And sometimes I thought, man, I can't believe it, like so much, it was not justice, but but you live and learn. When you get knocked out, you have to get back on your knees and fight, and I really, that's what I do. Yeah, every night, and when it doesn't kill you, it can make you stronger. I believe that, So here we are,
the metal queen, and you are the only metal queen for me and for everybody. But anyway, do you have for the moment any crush on maybe on heavy metal princess to
not really. You mean like one of my favorite bands?
Or maybe a female singer?
Female singer. Which female singer I like the most? I love Angela of Arch Enemy. I love Taya. Flor Jansen, who used to be the singer for After Forever. Veronica Freeman, she is called Benedictum, and she's amazing pipes. And so many other great people.
And not a special crush on a female singer? Could be the next metal queen?
I think all of them I just named. I think they're super special, strong
personalities. Your
personalities.
voice is very special, and nobody has their voice. It will never be replaced.
Really, I don't know. It's not for me to say, but I'm sure there will be, great singers. And then, and sometimes, the fans will decide. But I really I always like Taya. She came to my 25th anniversary too, and we became really good friends. And I think she's very unique. And, she has this aura around her. It's like, wow. And Angela, I think she's doing a great job. And her voice is like, wow, it's like powerful. So, I think they're great girls. All of them, I think they're like, they're mint, they're top. And I think it's different than and from the 80s, because in the 80s there were just a handful of women, and usually the video producers, they always put like the sexy girls in all the videos, and it looked sexy, but it didn't look so dignified. So I think now it all looks very dignified, and think twice about taking somebody serious, and I think all great personalities, great voices. So there are so many now. Yeah. And I like the girls. I like some girls too. Like for example, Crucified Barbara. We toured together in Russia. They have great attitude, and they play great. They look amazing. Yeah.
And I have a question, because Lita Ford is touring now with Poison and Def Leppard. Do you think maybe to probably together to do a tour, Queen tour with?
Did you
talk with her?
Actually, my band members, they just went to see her play in America, and actually everybody was saying, hey, you guys should do something together. And, but now we have our tour booked, and I think the Def Leppard Poison tour is long too. So, but I think eventually next year would be great. And I go on tour with another band from Sweden, the Sister Sin, and her name is Liv too, and she has a great attitude, and so we will rock the States together. And I sometimes pick like bands with like front women, like Criteria is another band we toured with, and she's actually from Korea. Her name is Jean, and and there's on the record. I think you didn't hear it yet because it's on the limited edition. There's one song is called Strong and Proud. That's for all the female rockers out there, which we are definitely connected when we stay together.
All the female in this in metal sometimes are taken like a doll, and you always had a respect from the guys. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Did you fight for that, or it was just coming naturally?
Yeah.
The respect.
Actually, I never felt degraded. Just the opposite. I always felt like really, respected.
I've never heard. I'm going to see Doro because she's beautiful, but I want to see Doro.
So kind words. That makes me feel great on one hand, but I feel I'm one of the metal heads. I'm happy to be part of the metal scene, the metal family, and I feel. And I still go to concerts and enjoy it, and I sometimes I don't even know what people mean, and then I think, oh shit, I just try to do the best I can, but I was always following my heart and following my instinct. One time we had to do certain things where it was a little bit. The record company tried to make one record a little bit more commercial, or it was the third record. I sang this record under tears, but when you're young, then you think, okay, maybe they know better. And then the record came out, and we wouldn't want to play any of the new songs. And then the record said, "We can't promote a new record. Don't play anything." And that was actually a real heavy lesson, because the fans said, "Hey, why did you do it?" And I thought, because I had to do it. And then I thought I would never ever do anything anymore what I don't believe in, or where I don't stand 100% behind it. Even when people say, "Oh, I don't like the song as much as this song," I can live with it as long as I feel I gave it my all. I love it. But when other people try to change you, but it was actually a time in the 80s where the record industry had so much power, which now it's more balanced. I think as an artist, as a band, you can do whatever you feel, you can say whatever you want, the sound. But back then everybody tried to make a pop, like a hit record, and some people had to wear makeup, suddenly, like bands like, where you thought, oh, what's up? So it was like, but it was a lesson. But I never would do anything what I feel like I want to. Because that is, to me, that is the most valuable thing, the connection to the fans, and that they know that, that you mean it, and that you're honest and pure about it. And then I can face the audience, and then, even when someone says, oh, it's not my taste, that's okay, because I know everybody has a different taste, and certain songs are maybe, not for everybody, but other songs then, for some people who love it and who get something out of it, so, yeah.
And the last word for Fran?
Oh man, I love you guys more than anything in this world, and I will always try my best and always rock you guys hard, and and go as long as you guys want me, and and I hope I see you on tour. I hope in December that we will all celebrate. It's the 12th of December in the Diamant du Monde, and I hope you guys enjoy the Raise Your Fist record, and left on poor Valentier metal.
We love you.
Love you too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, of course.